You might not believe it, but there are a few simple foods that can actually help repair your brain and protect your eyes while you sleep. Not while you exercise, not while you read or meditate, but quietly during the hours your body is at rest. Sound surprising? I understand. Most seniors are told that decline is inevitable, that poor memory, fuzzy vision, and slow thinking are just part of getting older. But let me ask you this. Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why? Have you noticed your night vision getting worse, making driving or even walking in dim light feel dangerous? Have you had trouble recalling names or felt mentally slower than before? That's not just aging. That's your brain and your macula, the center of your retina, struggling to repair themselves at night. And sadly, most people over 60 don't give their body the tools it needs to recover. Instead, they go to bed after a light snack, a piece of bread, or worse, nothing at all. No nutrients, no repair, just more silent decline. But here's the hopeful part. There are 4 simple natural foods that can support deep brain recovery and protect your macula while you sleep. No expensive supplements, no extreme diets, just smart choices that you can prepare right in your own kitchen. And the last food on this list, it may look small, but I've seen it make a powerful difference in both mental clarity and nighttime vision. So stay with me. And if this is your first time here, I'd love for you to subscribe. This channel is all about giving seniors real practical tools to stay strong, sharp, and independent naturally. Let's take the first step together. Let's begin with one of the most underrated vegetables for seniors, beets. When you eat beets, especially in the evening, you're giving your body something very special, natural nitrates. These compounds don't just support your heart. Inside your body, they're converted into nitric oxide, a gas molecule that relaxes blood vessels and improves circulation, especially to the brain and eyes. And for older adults, this matters more than you might think. As we age, blood flow to the brain declines. That's one major reason why many seniors feel mentally slower, struggle with memory, or experience confusion in the evenings. At the same time, the macula, the part of the eye responsible for central vision, begins to weaken. One key reason, restricted blood flow to the tiny vessels in the retina. But here's the good news. Beets have been shown to reverse some of that blood flow loss. In a 2017 study published in the Journals of Gerontology, older adults who drank beet juice daily for just 2 weeks had improved blood flow to the brain's frontal lobes, the region responsible for decision and memory. And this wasn't just theory. Their brains literally lit up more on imaging scans during cognitive tests. Now picture this. You eat beets in the evening. Your blood vessels gently expand, and more oxygen-rich blood makes its way into the brain and the eyes right before you sleep. That means your body gets the perfect chance to begin repairing what's been wearing down all day. And it doesn't stop there. Beets are also rich in betanin, a deep red pigment with antioxidant properties. Betanin helps combat oxidative stress, which is a major driver of age-related macular degeneration and memory loss. In fact, a 2015 lab study in Nutrients found that betanin significantly reduced the buildup of proteins linked to Alzheimer's. Here's a simple example. One of my former patients, Frank, age 74, started drinking a small glass of beet juice in the early evening. Within 3 weeks, he reported fewer episodes of evening confusion and said he could finally read his crossword again without squinting at night. So, how can you start? For best results, eat cooked. Beets or drink beet juice about 1 to 2 hours before bedtime. Roasted, boiled, or steamed beets all work well. You can also blend them into a smoothie with a little apple or lemon if the earthy taste is too strong. Just avoid eating them right before lying down, as the fiber content may keep your digestion active too close to sleep. And remember, this isn't a quick fix. But if you consistently include beets in your evening routine, you'll be supporting blood flow, brain oxygenation, and retinal health night after night. The changes may be subtle at first, but over time, they can become the foundation for sharper thinking and clearer sight even after 60. It might surprise you, but one of the most powerful foods for protecting your brain and eyes, especially overnight, is something many of us already keep in the fridge: eggs. As we get older, 2 things quietly begin to decline: our memory and our night vision. And in both cases, the body is crying out for the right building blocks to restore itself during sleep. Eggs happen to provide them in one natural package. First, let's talk about the brain. Each egg yolk contains choline, a critical nutrient the brain uses to make acetylcholine, a messenger chemical involved in memory and learning. As acetylcholine levels fall with age, many seniors notice slower thinking and recall. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2011 showed that adults with higher dietary choline scored better on verbal memory tests. Another study from Boston University in 2017 found that people with more choline in their diet had larger brain volumes and less deterioration in white matter. That's a strong sign of long-term protection. Now let's turn to the eyes. The yolk also delivers lutein and zeaxanthin, two powerful antioxidants that naturally collect in the macula. This part of the eye is responsible for central vision and clarity. These nutrients help filter harmful blue light and reduce the stress that leads to macular degeneration. A clinical trial published in Nutrients in 2017 found that participants who ate just one egg daily for 12 weeks increased their macular pigment optical density by 26%. That's not just theory, that's measurable protection for your night vision. What makes eggs especially effective is how bioavailable these nutrients are. The healthy fat in the yolk helps your body absorb lutein and zeaxanthin much more efficiently than from vegetables alone. That's important for seniors whose digestion and absorption may already be weaker. And here's where timing matters. When you eat an egg in the evening, perhaps as part of a light dinner, you're delivering nutrients right before the brain and retina begin their nightly repair work. During deep sleep, the brain clears out toxins, rebuilds nerve connections, and the retina begins cell renewal. Eggs provide the fuel that supports those critical nighttime processes. For best results, enjoy a poached or soft-boiled egg 2 to 3 hours before bed. It's light, easy on digestion, and retains most of the nutrients. If you're concerned about cholesterol, don't worry. A 2020 study in the British Medical Journal confirmed that up to 1 egg per day does not increase heart disease risk in healthy older adults. Simple, natural, deeply nourishing. That's what eggs offer. Not just breakfast food, but quiet protectors of your brain and sight while you sleep. If you ask me which green I trust the most for aging eyes and tired brains, my answer is simple: spinach. Not because it's trendy or easy to cook, but because the science behind it is solid, especially for people over 60. Spinach contains a unique pair of antioxidants called lutein and zeaxanthin. These compounds are not just helpful, they are necessary for the health of your macula, the part of your eye responsible for sharp central vision. They act like internal sunglasses, filtering out high-energy light and protecting your retina from oxidative damage. But what many people don't realize is that lutein and zeaxanthin are also stored in the brain, particularly in areas responsible for memory and processing speed. That means when you eat spinach, you're not only feeding your eyes, you're also nourishing your brain. In a 2014 study published in JAMA Ophthalmology, researchers found that people with the highest intake of these carotenoids had a 40% lower risk of advanced macular degeneration. And in 2015, a study from the University of Georgia showed that increased lutein intake improved visual processing speed in older adults, even without vision loss. Now, let's connect this to what happens during sleep. At night, your retina enters a state of high metabolic activity. It repairs damaged cells, clears out waste, and replenishes protective pigments. But if you don't have enough lutein and zeaxanthin in your system, that process is incomplete. The repair slows down, damage builds up over time. That means blurry vision, more sensitivity to glare, and difficulty seeing in low light. Spinach is also rich in vitamin K1 and folate, two nutrients that support cognitive function by reducing inflammation in the brain. Chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the silent drivers of memory loss in aging adults. By eating spinach regularly, especially in the evening, you give your body anti-inflammatory tools right before it enters its natural healing cycle. Margaret, 72, struggled to read her pill labels at night and felt foggy each morning. Her diet lacked greens, so we added 1 cup of sautéed spinach to her evening meals 4 times a week. After 6 weeks, she no longer needed a magnifier, and her memory became noticeably clearer. So, how should you eat it? The key is cooking it lightly. A quick sauté with olive oil makes the lutein more absorbable. Avoid overcooking, which can destroy nutrients. Combine it with a little fat like avocado or a poached egg to improve absorption. If you prefer raw spinach, a small evening salad with lemon juice and olive oil can work just as well. The goal is consistency. Your brain and eyes can't store these nutrients for long, so it's better to include spinach several times a week. Spinach isn't magic, but for seniors who want to preserve independence, protect vision, and think more clearly, even in their 70s, it is one of the most reliable allies you can add to your plate, especially before bed. They may look tiny, but chia seeds deliver a massive impact, especially for the aging brain and eyes. When it comes to nighttime recovery, these little seeds provide something that many older adults are quietly lacking: plant-based omega-3 seconds. As we age, our brain loses its flexibility. The membranes of nerve cells become more rigid. This affects communication between neurons, slows processing speed, and increases mental fatigue. For the eyes, especially the retina, this same decline in flexibility can impair light sensitivity and slow down repair of photoreceptor cells. Chia seeds are one of the richest sources of ALA, or alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3. Once inside the body, ALA can be converted, though slowly, into EPA and DHA, the active forms used by the brain and retina. Even though the conversion rate is modest, consistent intake still supports anti-inflammatory pathways, protects nerve cells, and fuels nighttime healing. A 2013 study published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry showed that ALA helps reduce neuroinflammation, a key contributor to memory loss and brain fog in older adults. Another study in Nutrients in 2018 found that diets high in plant-based omega-3 seconds were associated with better cognitive scores in seniors over 65, even without direct DHA supplementation. But that's not all. Chia seeds are also a complete protein containing all 9 essential amino acids the body needs to rebuild tissue, including in the brain and the delicate layers of the eye. During sleep, your body enters its most active phase of protein synthesis. That means what you eat before bed plays a direct role in how well your body regenerates overnight. In addition to protein and omega-3 seconds, chia seeds deliver high levels of magnesium and phosphorus minerals, critical for synaptic activity and retinal function. Magnesium in particular plays a role in the regulation of neurotransmitters and has been shown in a 2016 review in Neuropharmacology to support better sleep quality, which further enhances the brain's ability to detoxify and repair. The fiber content in chia also helps regulate blood sugar levels overnight, providing a slow, steady release of energy to the brain while you sleep. This is especially important for seniors who experience nighttime hypoglycemia, which can disrupt deep sleep and impair memory consolidation. So how can you use them? Start small. Stir 1 tablespoon of chia seeds into a cup of unsweetened almond milk or Greek yogurt and let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes until it forms a soft gel. You can add cinnamon, berries, or a touch of honey for flavor. Enjoy this about an hour before bed as a light, nutrient-rich brain snack. You can also blend chia into a smoothie or sprinkle it over a small bowl of oatmeal in the evening. Just be sure to let the seeds absorb liquid before eating. Dry chia can be difficult to digest. When eaten regularly in the evening, chia seeds help your body create the internal environment it needs for overnight renewal, more oxygen, less inflammation, deeper sleep, and the steady building blocks required to keep both your mind and your vision sharp for years to come. Now that you know what these 4 foods can do, the next question is, how do you actually use them? Don't worry, you don't need a complicated recipe or hours in the kitchen. What matters most is consistency and timing. Your body does most of its healing at night. That includes memory consolidation, retina repair, and the regeneration of nerve pathways. What you eat in the hours before bed can either support that process or interrupt it. So, let's keep it simple and practical. Here's a plan you can start as soon as tonight. First, begin your evening meal with a small portion of roasted or steamed beets. You can prepare them in advance and keep them in the fridge. Just a few slices are enough to trigger the nitric oxide effect that improves blood flow to your brain and eyes while you rest. Next, include 1 poached or soft-boiled egg. It provides choline for your memory and lutein for your macula, all in 1 bite. Try to eat it at least 1 to 2 hours before sleep, giving your body time to digest and absorb the nutrients without disrupting rest. Now add a serving of sautéed spinach, lightly cooked in olive oil. This helps your body absorb its protective antioxidants. You can season it simply with garlic or lemon. Just don't overcook. It only takes a minute or 2 to prepare. Finally, about an hour before bed, enjoy a small chia pudding. Stir a tablespoon of chia seeds into unsweetened almond milk or yogurt. Let it sit and top it with a few berries if you like. This little dessert feeds your brain protein and omega-3 seconds and supports steady overnight energy without spiking your blood sugar. If preparing all four sounds like too much at once, start with just one or two tonight. Even small steps matter when you take them regularly. You can also batch cook the beets, boil eggs ahead of time, or keep spinach pre-washed in the fridge. Chia pudding takes 2 minutes to make and keeps overnight. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is to create an evening ritual that quietly supports your brain and eyes while you sleep. One meal, one habit, one night at a time. You've got this. And I'll be right here to guide you again tomorrow. Sometimes the biggest breakthroughs in health don't come from medicine. They come from a quiet moment at the dinner table, a small change before bed, a decision to nourish, not just to eat. What we've talked about today isn't a miracle cure, but it is a gentle, reliable path forward, especially when your days feel heavy and your nights bring more confusion than rest. It's easy to forget how powerful your body still is. Even now, after 60, after 70, even after a diagnosis, you didn't ask for your brain and your eyes still want to heal. They're trying every night, but they can't do it alone. A few slices of beets, one soft egg, a spoonful of spinach, a tiny bowl of chia, not a diet, not a burden, just an invitation to support the parts of you that have carried so much, seen so much, and remember more than you think. If you've made it to the end of this video, I want to thank you. Truly, your time matters, and the fact that you've spent it here with me means you're still reaching for better, and that gives me hope. If this video brought you insight or even a bit of peace, please consider liking it. Share it with someone you care about. Leave a comment to let others know they're not alone. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. I'll be right here guiding you through each step of this journey with warmth, truth, and real science. You deserve a strong mind, you deserve clear vision, and you deserve a peaceful night's sleep. Let's make that happen together starting